Let's talk about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. This team just got destroyed by the Dallas Cowboys 33-10. And that's not even the biggest thing with this game, because there was a report right before this game that Frank Reich may be fired after this season, which is a shock to no one. But my thing is this. You're going to bring in a brand new coach for Bryce Young. Hopefully this is just one bad rookie season for Bryce Young and this team can turn things around. But I have zero trust in David Tepper. Zero. Because you had a solid interim coach last season in Steve Wilks and you just let him walk to the San Francisco 49ers. And maybe they'll be in the same situation with Steve Wilks right now if he was the coach, but the offensive line was playing 100% better. This offensive line is one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And that's very unfortunate because David Tepper has invested a lot of money, a lot of draft capital in this offensive line. Icky at the left tackle position is a first round pick. Taylor Moton, gave him a contract extension. Austin Corbett, you got him in last year's free agency. Austin Corbett missed a good portion of the season dealing with a knee injury, but I expected more. I'm just going to be completely honest. But he's playing his way back into shape. I understand that. But today against the Dallas Cowboys, coaching and offensive line play let Bryce Young down by getting sacked 7 times. Micah Parsons was a combination of Mean Joe Green today mixed with Lawrence Taylor with the way that he was getting after Bryce Young. And he's one of the best defensive players in the NFL. But man, that's ridiculous. They had no adjustment and no game planning for the way that the Dallas Cowboys were getting to Bryce Young. And I expected that to happen. You have the team that's number 1 in pressure rate going against a Carolina Panthers team that can't protect a parked car. I understand that. But I just expected more from Frank Reich. That's part of the reason to why he may get fired after this season. And because he is now calling plays once again. You can't blame Thomas Brown for this. The last 3 games Thomas Brown called offensive plays. They only scored 2 touchdowns in those games offensively. And this was a game that they scored an offensive touchdown in. Last week they were not able to score an offensive touchdown against the Chicago Bears. But it doesn't matter. What matters is the development of Bryce Young, because he's your guy moving forward no matter what. They're not going to move off of Bryce Young. You traded all those picks. You traded DJ Moore to jump up there and get him. They need to make this work. Go out there and get better offensive linemen first, and then go out there and get better wide receivers. Adam Thielen, if he wants to stay one more year, I would love that because he is so good. He isn't a top 10, top 15 wide receiver, but he's the best that they have. And that's sad because the man is 33 years old. He is the best wide receiver that they have on this roster because after him, it's a sharp decline. You have to depend on guys like Laviska Shenault, who can't stay healthy. Jonathan Mingo, who is a rookie and cannot create separation for anything. Hayden Hurst, who is just a good backup tight end, in my opinion, had his best year with the Atlanta Falcons a couple of years ago. And the only reason he had a good year last year with the Cincinnati Bengals is because he rarely ever saw double coverage. He just saw basic zone coverage. They were worried about T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd. But when he's your number 1 tight end and he's your possible number 1 target, you're in some trouble. Tommy Tremble, solid tight end. They just don't have the weapons around Bryce Young. And it's the same song and dance every single week. I come on here and say, David Tepper is running the team into the ground. Frank Reich isn't a good head coach. Bryce Young needs help. It's the same thing over and over again. That's why I don't expect this team to win another game this season. I don't, unless another team slips up. I'm surprised they beat the Houston Texans. I really am. That was a shocker. They beat them by a field goal. That was a very good moment. But they need to get some more wins going. And I need to see some more development out of Bryce Young. He's trying to get the ball out quick. He's running around. I am glad that he has good mobility. Because if he didn't have good mobility, man, he would already be on a stretcher right now. If he was just a statue in the pocket, the season would just be written off for the Carolina Panthers in general. And I understand what Andy Dalton did a couple months ago against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a veteran quarterback that knows how the NFL works. Bryce is still learning. He's still developing. He needs to get these growing pains out the way because a lot of interceptions are not on the offensive line. It's not on the wide receivers. When he threw that bad interception in the Detroit Lions game to the hung corner, that's on him. But he didn't make those type of mistakes at Alabama. And he's developing some nasty habits right now by just trying to get the football out too quickly because he doesn't have confidence in the offensive line. I don't think that a lot of people really understand how bad an offensive line can shake a quarterback in the future. That's why they had to fix this immediately. David Carr, years ago, the brother of Derek Carr, when he was on the Houston Texans, he was so fidgety in the pocket to where he felt some pressure. He would either just slide down or he would just throw the football up to no one. Those are habits that you don't want to develop in Bryce Young. And also, I'm watching wide receivers besides Adam Thielen. They're cutting their routes off halfway. That's the biggest thing with Jonathan Mingo. He's already developed that habit. He's running down the field, cut the route off. You do not want that in young players. So they need to make that major change. Either you get rid of Frank right now. I don't think that you even wait till the end of the season. Just get rid of him tomorrow. And just start off with the interim coach and just try to get some things going. And Thomas Brown should not be the interim head coach because his offensive play calling was not better either. And it is messed up to just fire Frank Reich after one season or at the halfway point of the season because the talent is not there. But you need a coach that can come in and be firm and say, hey, you know what? Let's do this thing better. And you need somebody that can get into this offensive line. That's what they need. They need a guy that can go out there and be a hard-nosed coach. I don't believe that Frank Reich is that guy. I believe that Frank Reich is more of a player's coach, and he's more jokey with the guys, and he just goes to the floor of the game. You need someone to come there with a backbone, like how Steve Wilkes was last season. You need somebody to bring out the intensity in the offensive lineman and bring out the intensity in these guys. I look at the defensive coordinator that they have, who is a very good defensive coordinator because his defense has been very solid. The defense has been solid for the last few years, but he's a very good defensive coach. Maybe you look for him to be the interim coach if you fire Frank Reich at the halfway point of the season, and maybe they don't fire Frank Reich at the halfway point of the season. But definitely after this season, you need to look and you need to evaluate, do you want Frank Reich to still go out there, and do you trust him with the development with Bryce Young? Because if you can't 100% say that, move on, get another head coach. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Carolina Panthers, how you feel about Bryce Young. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be blessed. Peace.